Back here, Semi-Pro Gridiron Rants. Kendall Anderson up in that little corner box there. Join us right now, Stephen Taylor. What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing good. Trying to make it through these gym shutdowns and restaurant shutdowns and trying to fire everything back up. And
yeah, how's it been? Have you been able to get any training in, man?
We went crazy and we built an entire gym in the basement.
Okay.
We just got in the Rogue squat / bench press rack, the Rogue
Okay.
bench. We have everything. We have a hip sled, hack squat machine.
Yeah, he sent me a picture last week of an old school hip sled. I was getting excited. One of those old where you could do it from the front, the side, the whole, from the bottom, the whole 9 yards.
So
yeah,
we
he's
have
good to go.
Whole commercial gym going on in the basement right now.
It's tough, man, because trying to find 45-pound plates is like an impossible mission. I would think everywhere in the country right now.
Oh, without yeah, we jumped on it the day that everything shut down.
Yeah,
jumped on it right away, and we were still paying $2 a pound.
Yeah. Now it's funny. You look through Marketplace and any of those kind of things, and now people are trying to get like $4 a pound. I mean,
whoa!
They're selling like
price
at least up
gouging.
here. They're selling junk benches like old school Weider Golds benches.
My first bench,
for, like $1,600. I'm like, what? And I'm just like, oh my, what are you doing?
I had one of those when I was 12 years old. The old
I
Joe
bet you
Weider
did.
bench.
Standard
That's
weight
right.
set.
That's right. I broke the little leg, little leg peg that you put the 45s on. About 13 years old, I smacked that right off. I was leg curling too much, so leg extension too much. So Stefan's kind of so last week, Stefan, we had on one of my previous quarterbacks. Hantke was his center. And the funny thing is, he was a lineman who got converted to quarterback. Now you're a quarterback who got converted to a lineman. So now we got the opposite to be true this week. So
how does that happen?
Well, you get huge.
Put on 70 pounds.
Yeah, there you go. Have you seen Stefan? Just for the ladies here, give him a little gun show real quick. Just a little one. Just a little.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So
he's
got arms the size of most people's legs. So when I met him, he actually reached out to us on Facebook. He was new to Jacksonville, and he reached out to the team I was coaching at the time. I was actually kind of new there too. And then this freak show of a man shows up, and here he is. He looks like he belongs in a gym and not on a football field, which is what a lot of the NFL linemen look like these days. You look at Tyron Smith, he might be 6'5", 6'6", wherever he is, but he's chiseled for a left tackle. So
listen, they're all Tony Mandrich now.
Right.
Okay, they're all jacked like that.
But we have speed. You can actually move.
Exactly right.
Yes.
Exactly right. So Stefan, let's go back to the beginning here a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your college days as a quarterback. And then, where you went between college and then what brought you to Jacksonville and then, ultimately ending up on the Spartans for a couple of years and then the Raiders even. Please tackle that subscription bar and also stiff arm the bell so you can be notified when our next video comes out.
Yeah, so I grew up in Iowa, and my junior year I was getting looked at by a lot of schools for quarterback, but Iowa wasn't calling, and the University of Wisconsin had reached out to me and they said, we really like you, we want you to come play for us, and they did one of those things like, if you lived in Wisconsin, it'd be really easy to get you on the team. And so I had a best friend at the time who lived in Green Bay, so I finished my senior year up there playing quarterback and started the next year playing for Wisconsin. Such a night and day difference going from high school to a D1 school as far as preparation, video, working out. I mean, when you're playing at D1 college, they own your life. You're doing from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed. They have everything timed for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because I watch some of these guys who get in trouble, and I'm like, how do you have time for that? Like, how do you find time to get in trouble?
Make time for trouble, right? You have to make time for trouble.
I'm like, every second of my life was planned out. And after Game 7 that year, the D tackle who was coming around the corner. Thought he was Mr. All-World, wasn't the starter. I'm wearing my nice red jersey, don't hit me. He came around the corner, and the top of his face mask severed my patella tendon on my knee.
What?
And so I got to sit out the rest of the season. I was really moving up in the depth chart, was playing really, really well. I was looking at getting some playing time with Sorgi and I at that time. And that obviously, when you rip your patella tendon, kind of have to have that.
That was unfortunately prior to the modern medicine miracles we can see today, right? So that
Right, where you can rehab it in 6 weeks and be back on the field.
right,
Yeah.
right.
What years were you at Wisconsin?
2001.
Okay.
So after you got injured in Wisconsin, ended your quarterback days, where'd you find yourself?
Then I went to St. Norbert College, and nice enough, Wisconsin actually paid for all 3 years that I went there.
Oh, wow.
Got to play there. We won 3 conference titles. Went and played against Whitewater in the playoffs. Lost against them. Played a lot of.
Did you play quarterback there?
Yeah, I played QB for all those years.
Okay.
Got to do the college combine, which was a lot of fun. So I got to go out to Indy and do all the practices and stuff with them. Got to interview with 2 different teams. I got to interview with the Jets and the Packers. Obviously, I didn't amount to anything. But, again, great experience.
Listen, you got a lot further than I did or most people. Yeah. So, I mean, just to even be considered to get an interview or go to the combine is, that's huge. And that's kind of what I'm finding is we had kind of one, or at least I had one idea in mind of how I wanted these podcasts to go. But what it's turning into is everyone's story, how we all got to semi-pro. And, so I like the fact that you can share. I was in an NFL facility for a little while, even if it was only an interview, because there's people like I coached a kid who had our running back got requested to go to the Redskins. So he went to the Redskins, and we've had a couple guys that played, they had a cup of coffee, so to speak. So, I'm finding that to be more cool. This is starting to turn into something completely different than I anticipated, which is great. We want this to be,
right.
Well, I think what a lot of people don't understand too is when you go to college and you play at college, then you play, whether it's, NFL, whether it's arena, whatever it is, there's a different caliber of athlete that you play against than when you come back to semi-pro and and then you just get the kid out of high school that couldn't make the grades, whatever, may have been a great athlete, but then you realize the work ethic action and, the repetitions, like in my head, I still step power, kick slide, you know what I mean? It's still in my head, and it will always be in my head, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for sure.
There's kids that will never experience that,
right?
You know what I mean?
You can definitely see the difference watching different people. And as a coach, it's tough to, I can't teach what Stefan knows. I can't teach some dude every other day, twice, two practices a week.
Yeah.
So you hope that guys like Stefan and yourself and Chris Bresnahan, last week's guest, filter into a team to where you have other level at the semi-pro level to help you get there. Because if you don't, I've coached a team that had none. When we were in Watertown, a startup team, we had very few, maybe a D3-2 person or so. And even though that person stood out more than, we had a kid that probably, had he not wrecked his shoulder, probably would have been in the NFL. He's 6'4", 245 pound, middle linebacker. Kid was a beast. But he got injured, so it unfortunately took him out. But you could tell he was a different, guys like Stefan and you and this guy was Mike Dumas. They have a different. They approach it because they've been there. You can just see it.
So Stefan, tell me how you go from the NFL end, and obviously how long did you keep that dream alive before you finally said, all right, this is done?
So after that, I shut it down for 7 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really focused on what my career is now, where I'm a general manager of a restaurant. So I was the youngest GM at my company at 26 years old. And I really, really, really focused on that. And I still was in shape, but I wasn't what shape I am in now or what shape I was in when I played with Coach Ken. So we moved to Florida, and I was starting to get back into shape and feeling good. And everyone's like, you should really see what you got. See if you can play like semi-pro and somebody will see you.
Mhm.
So like I looked around, and like Coach Ken said, I saw the Spartans, and I was like, hey guys, I can play quarterback, I can play tight end, and my size right now, at the time I was 275.
Chiseled
So like I can
275, guys. Not.
Could you imagine him playing quarterback at 275?
Dude, trust me, I wanted him to, but we just couldn't make it happen. We needed him up front because, I mean, we were just, no
Semi-pro
secret on
doesn't exactly-
semi-pro. The hardest position to fill is offensive line. Second hardest is defensive line. So when this mountain of a man shows up at 275 pounds and he's not fat, you're like, okay, well, I know you played quarterback, but would you pretty please try left tackle for us?
When it's funny because the first scrimmage that we played the X-Men, and they had me playing both ways, and I was playing nose, which is again a position I've never played, and I was literally taking the center and throwing him into the quarterback every play. I would just pick him up and throw him into the quarterback. So that was my first real game though, playing with the Spartans. They had me at left tackle. And again, it's a position I've never played. Like you said, you know, kick power, doing those things. That's not second nature to my brain.
Right.
That's not something I instantly think of. Now, after about halftime, I figured it out and really started locking down that left side. But again, you're going from a position that yes, I know the linebacker is going to flash on my right side if I open up too far left. I know those things as a quarterback, but to be in that spot and trust that guard next to me and know that DN's trying to widen me out to try to get that lane, those different things that you have to have a half a second thought process for. I didn't have those.
Right.
And about halftime, I started getting into it.
You could really see Stefan's maturation throughout the season where I don't want to say he was, I'll say it. He was lost, but we knew, well, at least I knew. I can't say we, because I was the head coach. I knew that with reps, he'd get it because he knows the game. If you talk to him, he'll talk football to you, front and back. So it's, as he just explained right there, he sounds like a regular lineman, right? But he's a quarterback, for Christ's sake. He grew up playing quarterback.
That's the same. Like I could sit back and wing the ball around when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know shit about taking a 3-step drop, you know what I mean? Or 5-step drop, you know what I mean?
Well, his maturation process was incredible. I mean, you could just see it almost every snap. He was getting better and better and better. And then it came times where I was like, dude, I need to run the ball in the 3-hole slide to guard. I need to run the ball, the 2-hole, move it over to right guard, So he was
moving me around.
Yeah, right in the middle of the game.
Right guard, left guard.
Yeah, move him over here, move him over there. Just because
That's like the Cardinals. Did you not have other linemen? Like that's a Cardinal sin.
No, I know. But when you didn't have a choice, we had a ton of injuries. We had a lot of people that weren't, it's semi-pro, dude. They don't all show up, right? So basically our mainstay was our center, and we knew Stefan was going to be somewhere on the line, and I'd move him around. Yeah, it's a sin because it's a giveaway, right?
So when you coached us, that was like you had it good because
I was living the dream with you guys.
5-6 solid guys, you know what I mean?
And you showed up most practices.
Yeah, you had it good with us.
Right. Yeah. So we did all right there. But so Stefan came a long way. And then, through that year, I didn't know a lot of people down in Florida to begin with. So, but Stefan and I became kind of close because he reminded me of me. He asked a ton of football questions. Now, it didn't hurt that he had a restaurant that I happened to like to eat at. So I would go over to visit him, and he makes this thing where he took some shredded prime rib and he puts it over Fritos. Dude, heaven on earth. Put some barbecue sauce on top of that. No wonder I blew up to 280 when I was down there.
A little bit of mashed potato.
Dude, he was killer stuff. Then killer pecan pie, all that southern comfort stuff. So after I left, another team opened up. Okay. So and then Stefan went on to James Craig. I always get him backwards. Craig James. James Craig played in the NFL. Craig James played D1 ball, but in some arena. But so he left he was our defense coordinator. He left and started his own team. And then Stefan went to go play for him. So talk a little bit about that.
Again, it was a brand new team. And a lot of the guys from the Spartans went over there. So it was the season I got to play with them before I moved to Chicago, it was a very disjointed team. They just weren't, when you're playing the line, you got to trust the guys that are next to you. You have to believe that this guy's going to have your back and this guy's going to cover the area of responsibility that's his. And, I found myself playing left tackle to center and trying to block 4 guys. And it was a very rough season. I ended up making the all-star team and then the all-star team for that. Had a great time with that. That was a great experience because I got to play with guys who actually know what they're doing. And had a really fun game. Got to play some D-tackle doing that too, which is my semi-pro wise is my favorite story. The D-tackle on the all-star team just wasn't hacking it. So Craig's like, Stefan, get in there and show him how to play D-tackle. So I split center in the guard, and I literally grabbed the fullback and threw him to the left and body slammed the running back. And the fullback comes back. He's like, Jesus, you're strong. And I was like, I'm done. I don't need another compliment for the rest of the season. No one needs to tell me good job.
That was it.
I'm like, I am good.
There you go. Now, one of the problems with Jacksonville, so just a little break. So Jacksonville is known as the largest city in America, for those of you out there who don't know this, by landmass.
Yes.
It's huge. Now, Hantke, for you, it would be like you driving from your home to my house is all Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost an hour from north to south.
Okay.
Dude, it's huge, right? So it's a huge landmass. So with that being said, there's got to be, I've lost count. There's got to be between 7 and 10 teams in Jacksonville.
At least.
Just in Jacksonville?
Just in Jacksonville.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, they play all year round too, right? So like I said, I coached in a spring league. They have summer league, so they play football all year round, but there's a ton of teams down there. So a lot of the linemen especially are worn thin. Now there's a couple teams that have been around a lot longer. So they've got a little more linemen that are entrenched with the program. So they stick around. But so when Stefan's talking about, having to work with he found a team that, because Craig had been around. He's from the area. He played a little arena ball. So he's been around, knows a lot of players. So he was able to bring other players in. So after you moved to Chicago, get back to working. You find a gym, right? You find a sponsor. You and I, when I was up there for work, you and I talked. You got a sponsor. Now they do not sponsor this program. This is a free push. I've learned over the years or over watching my YouTubes that you have to mention that they either are or are not a free sponsor. So it's Blackstone.
You watch too many YouTube videos.
I do watch a lot of YouTube. So it's Blackstone Lab. I just got this cute little shirt the other day. Yeah, I said cute. That's right. Okay, says make bodybuilding great again. That's right. Red, white, and blue.
Same shirt.
Yeah. So, and I just ordered some more supplements from there. Love their supplements. Stefan, by the way,
look at you going in right now.
Yeah, he's also training me. So he's virtually training me. So folks, what I'm going to do is if you want any virtual training from Stefan, him and I have talked, we're going to put together a way to get a hold of him. Stefan, give out your email for the folks, would you?
So it's Stefan RL2169@gmail.com.
So if you have any questions about working out, if you want to get on a diet, he put me on a nice little diet, and honestly, I'm eating all day long, and I'm not hungry, and he's got me under control, and I'm already seeing progress in just 2 weeks. So he's doing a great job with that. So that's my little plug for him there. Now tell us a little bit how, other than the obvious fact that you're just a mountain of a man, tell us how you got into saying, all right, that's it. I'm going after my pro card in bodybuilding. Tell us why.
I've always had, and as we talked about earlier, I've had a dream of being a pro athlete. And, the NFL didn't work out. I'm 38 years old now. And I've always had a very good shape. And so the guy that's my coach now, I was at the gym working out, and he's like, you ever done bodybuilding? And I was like, I did a show before I had kids, and I placed 5th. I was like 218 on stage. It wasn't great. I starved myself to death almost. And he's like, give me 1 season with you. And so we started putting in the work and really grinding in the gym and trying to go for this goal. And I did a show in October, and I was 233 on stage, 4% body fat. And my first real show took second place. So
It's awesome.
I was like, okay, there might be something here. I might actually have a chance. And if the guy who did win wouldn't have been there, I would have won the show. So that guy's been doing it for 10 years. He's won 3 other different big shows. So this really wasn't the show he should have been at, but that's fine.
Yep.
You know, you can't decide who shows up to the show and who doesn't.
Right.
So now we're taking a 2-year hiatus. So I'm back on stage at 255.
That's your goal. Put on 22 pounds of muscle.
Yes.
Nice.
And then
so your off season sitting at about 290, 300.
Right now I'm 275, but that's because we just opened the restaurant back up, and I'm now walking 18,000 steps a day. So I dropped 9 pounds in 4 days.
Ouch.
I believe it.
So my coach changed my food diet extremely, but yeah, the goal is to get to 315. 315 with a 39 to 40 inch waist.
Yeah, that's a tough choice to go from playing football to bodybuilding. Bodybuilding's a tough sport. I mean, for the years I trained here, my best friend Blair is a pro, and I trained with Jeremy Freeman here for a couple of years, and he's retired. But I don't know how you make the choice from being here I am playing football to, and the pounding is almost about the same when you talk about how much work you're putting in the gym, and for me doing strongman, there's times I'm like, I can't train like a strongman all the time. I still have to train like a bodybuilder because I just can't handle,
your joints give out. I just had a revive week last week where the start of last week, I called my coach. I'm like, bro, I am so physically tired and hurt. I'm like, so we were doing bench, and it happened to be max week, and I had 500 on there. And I'm going down nice and slow, and I go to press it back up, and I'm like, I got the weight. The weight's fine, but that left pec is super, super angry right now.
Yep.
And I'm like, I need a week for my body to drink 2 gallons of water a day and let my body reheal so we can get back at it. And this week's been great. I felt fantastic. I mean, we did deadlifts yesterday, and felt awesome. So we're
who are you training with out there? You're in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I'm with Joe Rubino.
Obviously you're training at home right now, but what gym does he have out
Export.
Number one, feel free to plug your restaurant real quick. So if anyone in Chicago is listening, they can come visit you.
Granite City Food and Brewery. Open patios, open rocking.
Oh, open patio. There we go, baby. I wish I was around. I'd be up there hanging out, eating some good eats, and have you make me that Frito dish. You'll find a way.
280 again.
He's got me down to 240. So and we're going. So he's doing a great job. He's got me remotivated into obviously doing it virtually. The motivation's 95% mine. But anytime I reach out to him and I have a question, he's right there to answer. So he's a great dude. Listen, I hate to cut this short. I know you're busy. This dude works 12-hour days, and he's an amazing father. He's a great husband. He's a good dude.
Appreciate it.
Was close with his family when I was down there. They took me in, and we spent a lot of time together. They're really good peeps. He's found a way to have a great family and chase his dreams, and both in the gym and professionally. So I appreciate you coming on with us. I miss the hell out of you, big man. Next time I'm in town.
Too,
last time I was in town for work, he came and paid me a visit. So next time I'm in town, I'll definitely look you up again, and we'll have you on in the future again too. All right, buddy?
Oh, for sure. I had a great time.
All right, my man. I appreciate your time. All right. Good luck to you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
See you, buddy.
See you, brother.